Okay, if you're wondering how you're going to build your professional career, that's exactly what we're going to talk about today. How to build your six-figure professional career even if you have no experience. My name is digiovanni. I'm with Diamo brand copywriting agency, and today I have someone who's known me her whole life, and I've known her most of my life. This is my sister, Hope. How are you doing today, Hope?
I'm doing great.
Awesome. Thank you for doing this, Hope. She's actually in college right now. Hope, where are you going to school?
Villanova University.
Oh yeah, you got the shirt on. Awesome. And what are you studying right now in college?
Well, I'm currently undeclared, but I'm going to declare psychology.
Okay, awesome. So this is a perfect example of someone that is working her way through school and trying to define their career path. So Hope, why don't we give the audience some context here? So what are you doing right now as far as work goes?
I'm currently a personal shopper at Walmart.
Okay, so we work at Walmart. And the reason I'm going to ask you about your work experience is because we're going to go through the process of like writing a resume. So right now you work at Walmart, and what do you do at Walmart?
I pick items for customers, and I help customers in the store find things they're looking for.
Pick items for customers. And what was the second thing you said?
I said I help customers that are in the store versus online help find what they're looking for.
Okay, so she helps people in store find what they're looking for, and your title is customer shopper?
Oh, personal shopper.
Personal shopper. And Hope, you've had experience doing other jobs, but for now we're just going to build your resume using this one experience, and then we're going to go into other areas. So how many people would you say you help per day on average, would you say?
Well, as far as like online people that I pick for, it would be like a lot because I pick like a part of each person's order.
Okay.
That would, I don't know, maybe be like 50 or something.
Okay.
And then for people in the store, I don't know, maybe I'd help like 15 people in like an 8-hour day.
Okay. So 50 online in an 8-hour day, you say? And then you'd say you help around 15 people in store. Okay, so what we're doing right now is we're just defining metrics of what Hope does. And the reason you want to know this and be very clear on this is when you're interviewing for a job or when you're talking about yourself, you can be very specific with actually like what you do. And this comes with any job. It comes with retail. Even if you're just like a cashier, or what Hope's doing is personal shopping at Walmart, you don't need to have a crazy job to actually understand like what your day-to-day looks like. And the reason you want to be specific is because when someone asks you like, oh, what are your metrics on your resume, you can actually give them real metrics. So the way you would write this on a resume is assist 15 people per day across 8-hour intervals to enhance customer experience. Okay, let's get even more granular with this. I'm going to actually erase this line here so we can really build out your experiences at Walmart. Okay. And so can you talk to me a little bit about like what your conversations are like with the people you're helping in store?
Okay, so generally people will like ask where something is.
Okay.
And I'll either direct them toward the area where that is, or if I don't know, I'll look it up within the app, and I'll say, oh, I'll look that up for you, and then I tell them the exact aisle.
Okay, and what's that app called?
Me at Walmart.
Okay. So another thing we could write on the resume, there's something called the XYZ method on writing a resume, and it means what result I achieved through which medium yielding, it's what I did through which medium achieving what result, and you can actually reverse that. So we're going to use the XYZ method to build Hope's resume here, and then we're also going to use it to build her LinkedIn and ask her about interviewing questions. So the app was called, one more time.
Me at Walmart, like with the at sign.
Me at Walmart. Okay, and then you said most people are asking you like where something is, right? So, and how much time does it take for you to usually find what they're looking for on the app?
Like 1 minute.
1 minute. And if you were to take a guess, how much time do you think it would take someone to find what they're looking for if they didn't have you in the store?
It could be like 5 minutes.
Okay, so 5 minutes. And we're just going to say on average, maybe it could take an hour for some people if they're really slow. Maybe it could take 20 seconds if they're really fast. But we'll say on average it takes 5 minutes. So the gap here that you're saving people is actually 4 minutes of time. And so we can use this metric here to write another bullet point on our resume saying decrease customer time to value by 4 minutes. I'm just going to abbreviate minutes here. On average, using me at Walmart. I'm not going to write it all out because I'm running out of space here already. But decrease customer time to value by 4 minutes on average using me at Walmart app. I'm just going to say me at W app. And that's another bullet point she has on her resume. And Hope has actually a lot of experience doing other jobs. Like, do you want to just tell the audience really quick where else you've worked?
Well, I've also worked at McDonald's and been a babysitter.
Okay, that's perfect, right? So actually, let's go. Do you mind if we go into that experience more too? So let's say we've already got basically 2 or 3 bullet points for your resume at Walmart. Let's build out another. Let's actually just erase what we have already. And so obviously, when you're on your resume, you would title your position personal shopper. You'd also say like how long you've been working there. But that's the easy stuff. I want to get in the nitty-gritty here. Okay. Let's talk about McDonald's. So what did you do at McDonald's?
I worked at the front and I worked at the drive-thru.
Okay.
So the front would involve taking people's orders at the cash register, and it could also involve a little bit of like cleaning the lobby, or it could involve like making ice cream cones and things like that.
So you just told me a lot here. So one thing that's really useful is having different, I don't want to say skill sets, but I guess these are kind of different skill sets within your position. So clean lobby, right? One way you could write this on a resume is ensure lobby cleanliness. Actually, that's not that great. Let's start with the cash register. How much money do you think you handled at McDonald's on an average day? On average, what do you think the number is? And honestly, for context, if you're writing a resume, it's okay to have sort of these arbitrary numbers that you think are correct, because a lot of times it's just really hard to get these numbers and you just need something to put on your resume. So what do you think on average, let's say ballpark, you were handling per day?
I don't know, like a couple hundred?
Sure, let's maybe say $200, $300. Okay. So, handled and processed $200 per day using in-store POS system. And POS just means point of sale. And the reason why you're going to use the word POS is because when you're looking for a job and you see a job description, this word is likely going to be on that job description. You're going to want to match the job you're applying for with your resume. And so Hope's done a good job of handling cash with a POS system, so if she's applying to some sort of customer service role in the future, she'll be able to use this word as a proxy to relate to the job description. Let's see what else. Okay, how many ice cream cones do you think you made in a single week?
I don't know, we could say like 20 or something.
Okay, let's say Hope made 20 ice cream cones per week. And how much is an ice cream cone at McDonald's? I know with inflation, it's like double what it used to be like 5 years ago or whatever. But let's say when you were working there, how much do you think that ice cream cone was?
A couple dollars.
So let's say $2.
Sure.
Okay. And because Hope is awesome, she led customers to happiness and satisfaction with her ice cream orders, and they're always awesome. So let's say $2 per cone. So that translates to, on her resume, if she's writing a resume for McDonald's, or even just on her LinkedIn, just to build out her portfolio, she could put this: processed $40 in additional ice cream sales through drive-through and in-person sales. Okay, so these are just basic bullet points that she can put on her resume, but obviously Hope doesn't want to apply to McDonald's when she gets out of college. I just wanted to go through this exercise to give you context as to what and how you can actually write a resume and think through what you've actually done in real life. And the reason for this is because a lot of people think that if they're just working a regular customer service job, or if they're just working like a regular retail job, that they don't have real experience, and the truth is they actually do. And a lot of times you can reposition your title at these jobs. Like a lot of times these places won't even give you like real titles, so you can reposition them yourself as like a manager or assistant manager if you feel more comfortable with that. And you can use your connections at these retail spots to leverage these titles, because a lot of times you're not given a title to begin with. So you can use these titles for your own sake to position yourself as a higher authority on LinkedIn or Indeed or wherever you're applying to jobs. So let's erase and let's put this into real life. Okay, so Hope, I'm going to ask you a bunch of loaded questions, and you can give me whatever answers you feel comfortable with. So the first question I'm going to ask is, what do you want to do when you grow up? What a loaded question, because I have no idea what I'm doing in my life, but I'm asking her what she wants to do. So what do you think you want to do with your life?
I don't know.
Give me like 3 different things. How about that? 3 options that might not even be possible, or 3 things that just come to your head.
Do something that like helps the world, I guess.
Okay.
And make some money.
Do something that helps the world.
And like use my skills to like the best of their abilities, or like push myself to be the best that I can be.
Awesome. Say flourish, but it's not a bad word. Just say flourish here. Okay, so Hope wants to do something that makes an impact on the world. She also wants to make money, because who doesn't want to make money? And she wants to use her skill set to do both of these. Anything else come to mind?
Not immediately.
Any values that you have that you want to have in the workplace? For example, like me personally, I like working remotely. Anything like that for you?
Okay, I'll say the opposite thing. I'll say for the work in person.
Okay, and so right off the bat, we're going to say that you probably don't have all the skills you need to make a 6-figure income right after you graduate college. Would you agree with that? Would you agree with me if I said you can do things while you're in college or right outside of college to speed up that process? Okay. What do you think some of those things are?
Like with internship over the summer.
Awesome. What else?
We could like try to work like on campus jobs during the school year.
Okay, what else?
I guess it really depends on the field. Like,
how about you for you? What do you think is something that you could do personally?
think these are like the main things. I mean, I could also like take like other classes over the summer or something like that to like learn a different set of skills.
Any skills you have in mind?
Well, like since I'm doing like a liberal arts like degree, I could do like a more like business classes or something like that to learn something different.
Business? What in business would you want to learn? Do you want to learn something about business, or is that something that you just thought of?
It's just something that I thought of like a possibility, not necessarily something that I have a specific goal in.
Okay. Do you have any skills or anything that like really interests you in the business sector that you're like, this sounds interesting? For example, marketing, sales, product, customer service, anything like that? Operations, finance?
I'm not sure.
Okay, we can come back to this later. Do you think that you could start any like side projects or anything like that? Have you thought about starting like a side project to make money or a side project to build an audience, anything like that?
I mean, I haven't, but that makes sense, doing like some sort of your own business or
Okay.
social media.
Okay. And what are some of like extracurricular activities that you do?
I do theater and I sing in a choir.
Do you ever get any people to show up to your performances?
Oh yeah, I post advertisements on social media.
How many ads have you posted to advertise yourself on social?
Like a few.
How many would you say roughly?
Well, I mean, over the course of like my whole life.
Sure. In your whole theater career, how about that?
Oh, I don't
Specifically
know.
advertising theater or choir.
I'll say like 10.
Awesome. And how many people show up to, when you perform, how many people on average would show up to your performances?
Like in total to the entire show, like
Sure.
all the days.
Yeah.
I don't know, like a couple hundred.
So 200?
Yeah.
Okay. Are these shows free or paid?
Well, if I do like a thing with choir, it's free. Well, I did one show this year that was free, but the other ones have been like you have to like pay.
Okay. And how much are the tickets usually?
They're like varying prices, so it would. I don't know. What is it, like 15 for an adult and 10 for a student or something like that?
Okay. And would you say that over the amount of 200 people that you perform in front of, on average they spend maybe like $10 to $15 over those 200 people? Okay, so let's say $15 a ticket, 200, that's $3,000. And would this $3,000 be there if you didn't perform?
That's kind of difficult to
It's a loaded
say.
question. How about this? I'll reframe the question. Do you think that these 10 ads that you post on social media, or even just getting mom and dad to get to your shows, had an impact on this $3,000?
Well, yes.
Awesome. And so you know what that means is on your resume you can say, helped generate an additional, I'm just going to do shorthand, 3K. Obviously on the resume you'd write out the full thing, but I'm just doing shorthand for space. Help generate an additional 3K in ticket sales through 10 social posts yielding, man, this handwriting's getting really bad, yielding 200, you could say 200 customers, 200 audience members, 200 people in audience, however you want to frame it. But that's one way to frame experience that you already have. Do you feel confident saying this?
I mean, I'm not like the only person who
Right.
did it.
That's why you said helped generate. You see how language matters a lot?
Okay.
If you just say generated, it might be a lie, but this is not a lie. Helped generate.
Okay.
you see what I'm getting at? And I'm not saying you have to put this on your resume, but do you see like the context of what I'm getting at?
Yes.
This is kind of the same thing as saying you will versus you can. Have you heard this before?
No, but I'm assuming if you say you can, that's like less commitment.
Yes, like you will is a promise. You can is an opportunity. So the same way you're saying helped generate, you made a contribution here instead of a responsibility. Does that make sense? So this is what you use, at least me personally, this is what I've done to actually write resumes that have gotten jobs at a six-figure level, and multiple six-figure levels. And this is a lot of things, like I've been going over a lot of resumes this past week. This is the thing that everyone is missing in their resumes. They don't have any of these metrics, and this is why people will not call them for jobs. This is why people will fail to get interviews, is because they can't articulate what they've actually done. And when someone asks you on an interview, oh, how did you help generate an additional 3K over the course of a couple years through sales? Like, what did you do? What are you going to tell them?
Well, I would say I made posts on social media about the show. I also told people in person that they should come see the show. I really promoted it because I cared a lot about it and I wanted it to succeed.
Awesome. And how awesome does that sound on an interview? It's like, if I asked you, well, what did you do? And you gave me that answer, I'd be like, I'm hiring you because she's very articulate. And one thing, if I'm hiring someone, and maybe I'm just biased here, but she just said like word of mouth, that is something that a lot of people skip in general. When you do word of mouth or you tell someone about something, that is an interaction you had that you could put on your resume. So how many people roughly do you think you talk to about just coming to your shows? Like how many interactions do you think you had with people?
Well, it kind of depends. Like if I said something, for example, like if I shared it to like people in my choir, that might have been like, that could have been as many as like 40 people or something.
Okay, okay. And this is like 40 people at once?
Yes.
Awesome. So, and like I said, this is not something that I'm saying you're going to put on your resume, but this is to get you thinking, and honestly, you can put this on your resume 100%. This is just to get you thinking about how to write a resume. So 40 people, so what you can say is facilitated dialogue, between 40, we can say leads to yield an additional, how many people out of this would come?
I don't know, like 15 or something.
Okay, so an additional 15 customers. And like I said, you don't have to have the exact metrics. Recruiters aren't looking for that. Recruiters are looking for just the fact that you've done something, and people forget that they actually do cool shit in real life, and they overlook all of this small stuff. This is so small, and I'm just assuming here, but I imagine you probably never thought of like writing a resume this way. Right? This is how I've done it, and this is what a lot of people don't tell you. It's like you can literally just use your one-to-one interactions to write out what you've done. So let's actually think about the real world now, or actually future. So this is you present state, like what you've done presently. Let's think about the future, and let's think about like some opportunities you might want to apply for. So let's actually find like a little career path for you. And I'm not saying you're going to do this by any means. You don't have to do anything I say here, but this is just to get the noodles rolling, in your head. That was a term they would use at Amazon, get noodles rolling or get noodles on the wall. So I've adopted that term here. Okay. So Hope, we want to do something that helps the world. Who would you like to help? Do you want to help anyone and everyone?
I mean, sure.
You do?
I don't know.
You want to help people that don't like you? Loaded question.
That feels deep.
Well, I mean, you could say yes. That's a loaded question, but you
I
could say
feel
yes.
like I should.
You want to help people that don't like you? Okay, how about this? You want to help? Are there people that you would prefer to help over other people?
I don't know. I feel like kids.
Kids? Oh, you're a babysitter.
Yeah.
Okay. So we already have a little bit of experience making money and helping kids. babysitting. And so, to give context, like, why do you not babysit right now?
It's just, I mean, I could.
Okay.
I haven't really been looking at it.
Okay. Any reason why? Like, cause you're doing Walmart now instead of that.
It's
Like,
well, it's kind of like more consistent, or like husband more
Okay.
consistent.
okay, so we'll just do a little brain exercise here. So babysitting versus Walmart. So both of these money, they both make money. Would you say you like the money at babysitting or Walmart better?
Well, I mean, it depends on the person. I think babysitting can make more money, but it won't be necessarily for like 8 hours.
Okay.
So even if the rate is higher, it doesn't necessarily make more money.
Okay. Which one would you prefer to do?
And I'd say I prefer to babysit.
Okay. I'm going to put P here for preference. So, babysitting, you make money. The problems here are that it's basically consistency, right? Like I said, I'm not telling you to go open up your own babysitting agency right now. I'm just going through an exercise as to how to decide on a career path. So, babysitting, there's a consistency problem, which makes it tough to get work. So maybe you can do this on weekends, but there's value here because you're serving kids and you're serving people you care about. Would you agree with that? Okay, money is better at Walmart, but there is not a consistency problem here. I'll put a check mark there with my sloppy handwriting. What are your thoughts on the people you serve at Walmart? Do you like the customer base that comes in? Is it kind of annoying to serve these people? Is it like kind of whatever, you're neutral about it? How do you feel about it?
I'd say more neutral.
Neutral? Okay. And that's actually not a bad thing. If you feel neutral about something, it's better than obviously feeling bad about it. The thing that, in my experience, that you don't want to have is the people you're serving, you hate them. And that does exist. For example, like if you're a priest and you're serving people that believe in the devil, or what do they call that, Satanists, like there's a clear disconnect there. And I'm making a very extreme example right now, but this actually happened in my own personal life. Like I've run music production companies that I didn't like serving the rappers and singers I was working with, so I had to pivot. And so this is why I'm having this conversation with Hope. So what do you think, if anything, are some skills that can create an opportunity that meets you in the middle? Do you think there's any opportunity here that meets in the middle?
Well, I guess if I were like working for like babysitting like multiple people, I could be more consistent.
Okay. So like a babysitting like company? Is there like a company that does that, or like an agency or something like that?
I'm not sure.
Okay. Well, one thought that came to my head was like a preschool or like a daycare or something like that. Would you agree with that? It kind of meets in the middle. Okay, awesome. Like I said, I'm not telling you to go work at a daycare, but this is like how, me personally, I've gone about deciding on my career. So I took music. For me, music was on the left side here, and what do you call it? Marketing was on the right here. I learned copywriting from music. I loved marketing, but I didn't like the people I was dealing with in my first marketing job, and I combined them, and I got copywriting jobs at big companies. So let's erase this and think about real world companies now. So that's like future state. You might work at a daycare just to get some experience. I don't know what you want to do, but this is just a brainstorming exercise. Okay. Actually, let's do this one. All right, let's think of a job title that you actually might be able to apply for in the future based on the skills and interests that you have right now. And then we can actually look later off camera if those job titles are hiring for someone with your experience. Okay. So you mentioned that you were thinking about doing psychology. Is this something you're set in stone on, or something that you're kind of unsure about, or how do you feel about this?
Well, that's that's my current thought.
Okay. Let's just keep it up here for now. Any other options that you think of?
Well, I mean, I also thought of English, and like I made a lot of progress towards that.
Okay. Anything else? Okay. How about this? You also like theater, right? I'll put major up here so you know what we're talking about. And then just like, what do you want to say? Passions? Is that
Okay.
is that cool with you? Passions? What else do you have? Theater, singing. Would you say like, that's kind of like theater?
Yeah, but I do acting like only in theater, so I
Okay.
don't sing in theater, so it is separate.
Okay, so singing or choir. Okay. What else?
Well, I like reading, but I think that goes together.
We'll put that as a passion though, because there actually are jobs that literally are about reading and editing. So we could put reading as a passion here. What are some of your other passions? I'm putting you on the spot, so you don't have to answer this if nothing comes up to you. But
I don't know, like something. I don't know. I'm thinking like learning or something like that, but I feel like it's really broad.
no, I think that's good. Like, what do you like learning about?
I don't know. I just like to learn more about the world. Like I don't know. I'm also like studying Spanish. Like that's my mind.
Oh,
So.
that's fucking awesome. Okay, so you're studying Spanish. You're giving me gold here. Okay. What else? So you like world studies? What? Anything particular about like studying the world? You mentioned like learning about the world. What does that mean?
I don't know. I just think of it as like being intellectually curious.
Okay. Intellectually curious. And does that come down to like politics, or does it come down to like religion? Does it come down to business, finance, like watching market trends? Like, if you could be more specific with world stuff, culture.
Well, I guess I'd say more like culture. I mean, I think it does kind of include like politics or religion too. I think those things like are a part of culture.
They definitely are, sure. Culture, religion, politics. And we're not going to go into your views right now, 'cause we don't need to cause a scene. But as far as the audience, we don't need to cause a debate. If anyone's even watching this, we don't need to cause a debate. But these are very important things to think about. Okay, so we have Spanish, world studies, culture, religion, politics. What else comes to mind as far as learning? What do you read about?
Well, I mean, I read like novels, like fiction.
Awesome. Okay, what else?
I mean, I think.
And like storytelling kind of thing?
Yeah.
Anything else?
I don't know. Sometimes I like more sciencey stuff. Like they usually like related to psychology.
Awesome. You ever read about like biology or environmental science or anything like that, or is it mostly psychology?
Well, I mean, I think like bio and psych overlap would be simple, but.
So we'll say bio. I'm not too familiar with bio, so I don't know like the overlap there. Like, is there a specific like I know there's like biochem or like bio like is there?
But there's also biopsych.
There is? Okay, so let's do biopsych then. Okay, perfect. I did not know that. Okay. And anything else that comes to mind or no? Okay. What are some of your like core beliefs, if you have any that come to mind?
Like about what?
About life. So, like for example, there's like a core belief that I have is like I believe that people are better together than they are apart. I believe that people do not do well when they're in isolation. I believe that people do better in communities, tribes of 150 people, like Dunbar's number, for example, like stuff like this. Do you have anything that comes to mind? Literally, like the first thing that comes to mind. If not, no worries, because it's another loaded question I asked you.
I mean, like, I agree that like people yeah, isolated.
Okay, which goes back to working in person kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else that's related to that? And it doesn't even have to be like working in person. That's just like a thing that keeps coming to my head for whatever reason. Like, do you believe that you should be physically active every day? Do you believe that you should be well read, or you should read a chapter of a book every day, or something like that?
I mean, I think it's important to read, yeah, and like this goes back to like intellectual curiosity
Okay.
about the world. I don't know. I mean, I think it's good to be physically active every day.
Okay.
Not that I'm like doing it.
Okay. For sure, for sure. So is it? Would you say it's like not a strong belief that you have? It's more of like on the bottom or lower on the
Yeah.
totem pole. Okay, so let's not even put that there. So I think we actually have a lot here to work with, and the reason I'm asking you all this is to figure out like what job titles might actually be congruent with what you believe in. So what do you think, given all of this? I'm gonna change colors here. Like, what job titles come to mind that align with what you know how to do already, or like some of the stuff right here?
I mean, like, I thought about like doing like editing or publishing or something like that.
Slash publishing.
Yeah.
What else?
Or specific jobs, like, I don't know, I mean, you don't always do like research or something like more academic.
Academic research.
I'm not sure that I want to do that, but.
Okay, we'll just put it up here just for shits and giggles, but we'll say that this is not something that you're really strong-willed on. What else comes to mind?
I mean, there's always like performing.
Performing? What else?
Writing.
Sure. This is a field I know a lot about, so we can go into this a little bit more too. What types of writing?
Well, I mean, I was talking about like stories and stuff like that, so that relates more to like fiction. Or yeah, I would just say fiction more broadly.
Creative writing?
Yeah.
What about screenwriting? Would that interest you or not really?
Yeah.
How about, I know you're really into biopsych, psychology, science. Would technical writing interest you?
Maybe.
About technology? It's a little different, but would that interest you? Okay, we'll just put it up here just for an option. How about, since you're into psychology, can I put copywriting here? Okay, how about performing? What I don't know performing well, so like what jobs would you can get like a dance role somewhere, right, at an agency?
Yeah,
Or like
but
a,
I would not do that.
okay, what would you do?
I don't know, to like being in shows or.
Acting kind of thing?
Yeah, that's what
okay.
I mean.
Okay, acting. What else?
I mean, I don't think I'm gonna be like a music artist or something like that.
No, but for sure. But just to like get even more clarity here, like, or just to throw darts on the wall, like, do you think there's anything else related to performing? If not, if it's only acting, that's completely fine.
I mean, there's always like, I guess there's always like business side of like theater or something like that.
Okay, so like talent management? Or talent coordination or something like that?
That's not exactly what I meant.
Oh.
Like, that's true. I was. There's like marketing for shows too.
Okay,
There's like
okay.
a lot.
So marketing.
I mean like. Theater's like a business of everything.
All of it's a business, right? They're all trying to make money, so.
Yeah.
So marketing?
Yeah.
Okay. How about like publishing for a performing company, or publishing for like talent companies in that vein? Does that make sense? Is that like a thing?
I don't know.
Or like journaling, like you know how there's like journals, like like there's academic journals, there's like performance or I think there's performance journals, there's music journals.
Like Well, like in an academic sense, you mean?
No, I meant like
Like a magazine or something?
yeah. Like there's like theater magazines or like Broadway
Playbill.
magazines. What is it?
Playbill.
Playbill. Okay. We're just throwing ideas on the wall here. Playbill. Okay, and then so I feel like all of this kind of like comes down to they kind of all like coincide with each other. Also, you have Spanish here that I want to point out. What about like Spanish? Do you know? Like how proficient would you say you're in Spanish?
Well, I mean, I can read pretty well. I feel like I get more nervous about like speaking.
Okay. Would you say you can write it pretty well?
Yeah.
Would you say like how affluent would you say you are? Like
Fluent?
okay. So you're fluent.
No.
I'm sorry. Yeah, that's what I meant. Fluent. Yeah. How fluent are you in Spanish? What do you say?
I mean, it's hard to judge that. Like I feel like I'm never gonna be like someone who grew up speaking it.
Sure. Would you say it's at least proficient?
I guess, yeah.
Okay. Just for argument's sake, we'll just put that proficient in Spanish. Okay. The reason I wanted to do all of this is because I just wanted to find out what you're interested in and match job titles to what you're interested in. And so there's 5-figure jobs, like low-paying 5-figure jobs with a lot of this stuff. There's also 6-figure jobs with some of this stuff. So here's an example. You're proficient in Spanish, you could be a translator or a translation copywriter or a transcreation person or a translation creative writer. You can be a translation technical writer. These like all match and are all their own niches. And you'll actually find these on LinkedIn. I know I'm like all over the place here, but you can be a creative translational writer. You could be like a translational screenwriter. These are just one option. Another thing you could do is copy editing or newsletter editing for a publication. You could do editing for academic research. For performance companies, you could do editing there. It sounds like a lot of this, though, is going to come into writing. Would you say that you'd be open to a career in writing?
Yes.
Okay. So let's build out your writing career. And this is just, by the way, this is just hypothetical. This is not what you're actually doing. I'm just trying to go through a brainstorming exercise here with you so that an audience member, if they're really struggling to define what their career goals are, they have some frameworks to develop their careers. Does that make sense? Okay. We're just gonna say you're a writer. Give me like 3 or 4 companies that you'd be really interested in working with as a writer. If that exists. Are there any companies that you'd even be like, oh, I'd be cool to write for them? Or Playbill, right? Is Playbill one?
Sure.
Okay, Playbill. Okay, what else? Anything else come to mind? I'm sorry I'm putting you on the spot. How about like a psychology magazine or something like that?
Well, I don't know about that.
Okay.
Like, I feel like I was saying I would read about psych, it was more just like on generic like sites like New York Times or something like that.
Okay. So the fact that you're reading about psychology, there's a lot of psychology in marketing. Would you be like a marketing writer, like a copywriter? You did say you'd be down to do that.
Sure.
Just for argument's sake, just for the sake of the exercise. So you'd be down for copywriting? Are there any brands like maybe Disney or?
I like Disney.
Okay, so Disney. What other brands? Like what brands did you like when you were growing up? How about Villanova? Would you write for Villanova if they asked you?
Sure.
Okay. What are some brands you liked when you were growing up?
like, oh my gosh. Like when I was a kid, you want like toys that I liked or something?
Or yeah, sure.
Like freaking like American Girl or something?
Okay, American Girl.
It's like Mattel.
What is it?
Mattel.
How do I spell that? Mattel. What's Mattel?
That's like the toy company.
Oh, okay. How about like, what's your favorite clothes to wear?
Hollister. I thought that. I was also thinking of like food. I don't know about
Sure. What food? What's your favorite place to eat food?
Chipotle.
Hell
And I also like Starbucks or
Okay.
Wawa.
I love Wawa. All right. Starbucks, S-Bucks. What else?
I don't know, like Apple's
Apple's awesome. Apple is probably one of the best brands out there right now, as far as brand value goes. What else?
cool. I just thought like Nintendo or something.
Okay, that's fair. Like I said, this is all just exercise just to identify like a potential career that you could go down. And I'm not saying, I'll just reiterate, I'm not saying you have to go down any of these paths. I'm not saying they're even 100% for you. It's just to get you thinking about it and the audience to help them think about a career path. How about, so we have, I guess we're just bringing this back to copywriting, which is funny because that's what I am. So we have all these companies that you'd be interested in working for, and let's just say it's writing for now. Are there any other things that you'd be interested in doing for any of these companies? Like, for example, would you be interested in like making an ad for some of these companies, or would you be interested in like being a person that deals with their clients, like their business clients? Would you be interested in being a person that is in charge of like their DEI initiatives? Excuse me. Would you be interested in a person that develops like some of their financial systems or operation systems? Like any of that other stuff interests you or not really? And it's completely fine if none of that interests you.
Well, I don't know. Some of it I don't even know anything about.
Sure. No, that's completely fine. And you won't know anything about it until you actually get into the job, right? But are any of those like buzzwords I threw out interesting?
I don't know. I guess like making an ad would be interesting.
Okay. So making ads. And like writing them and designing them, kind of thing?
Yeah.
Sure. Okay. And do you have experience with design?
No.
No? Okay, so let's maybe cross that out for now, but making ads, maybe you're a really good writer, so maybe it comes down to, again, copywriting. Okay, so here's a potential thing that you could do. You could become a copywriter for entertainment companies like Disney. You could be clothing, fashion. You can be, and it doesn't even have to be a copywriter. You could be like just a writer or like an editor, creative writer, content writer. I'm just using, let's just say writer. Writing for entertainment, clothing, fashion, your school. We'll just put education there. Schools and education. And maybe we'll just put Chipotle, or we'll do like retail slash convenience. I don't even know if it's in the industry, but we'll just do retail and convenience for Wawa, Starbucks, Chipotle. Oh, consumer is what I meant. So like Nintendo. Okay, so these are like all, based on what you told me, these are like all the avenues that you could literally get a job in like this year. And the way you would do this is, let's make a square box here. This is going to be your portfolio. What have you written already? Anything, like anything. Just throw out ideas. Like what are stuff that you've already written? It could include like your college essay. It could include.
Yeah, essays for
Essays.
school.
What else?
Journals.
Journals. What else?
Cool. I mean, not everything I've written for school has been an essay. I've done I did like a short screenplay.
Okay, so screenwriting.
I did one. Yeah.
Yeah, that still counts. Screenwriting. Okay, what else?
I feel like that's mostly it.
Okay. Do you think with this experience you could generate something for any of these brands that you said? And when I say something, I mean a creative essay, an advertisement, words on a landing page, a billboard, literally anything, or even like an actual play. Do you think you could actually write any of that stuff?
Sure.
Okay.
I mean, like when you say creative essay, I think that's like the most clear.
Sure, okay, yeah. Okay.
Because that's like most similar to something I've done before.
Okay, and you do know that there are positions that are content writers or creative writers. These do exist. And so the reason I'm bringing these in is because what you would look for, let's say you want to go down this career path, what you would look for on like LinkedIn is like junior writer or like junior creative writer, junior copywriter, something like that. Copywriter would be more in the advertising space, but junior writer of some sort. And you would look for it on any of these companies that pique your interest. You would also look for it in agencies, and a lot of times agencies, especially the big ones, they work with a lot of these companies. The first agency I worked with Disney, Apple. That's actually the only two on this list. But Disney and Apple, and the funny thing is I had no idea I'd be working with any of those companies until I applied to the agency. So a lot of people don't know this, but an agency is the key a lot of times when you're first starting out, especially as like a junior, to getting all the experience you need. And then as soon as you start working at the agency for maybe 6 months, you'll probably be making between 40 and 80,000. Sometimes a little higher, depending on your experience, but usually you'll start in this range, and usually it's going to be on the lower end, closer to 40 to 60. You work here for a year, 2 years, get your experience there, and that translates into going to 60 to 100K at a bigger company with a title that isn't junior, but now it's mid-level. And then once you get mid-level experience, that becomes 80 to 140. Actually, it can go all the way up to like 200 at a senior position. And what you do is you work at these companies for 18 months, 12 months, even 6 months. You put it on your LinkedIn, your portfolio, your resume, and you just apply to jobs. That's literally it. Do you remember the framework we went through just to get your experience, like with McDonald's and Walmart? That's all you do on your resume with the positions you get here. That's all you do. You just replicate that process. Let me erase this because I just want to make one more. Am I making sense at all? Like, is this helping at all? Like, when you okay. And so the biggest thing here is the biggest bottleneck is that you have no experience. And so the reason I asked you is like, do you think you could write an essay, or do you think you could write some sort of ad or something like that for any of the companies that I listed? Is because that is the only thing that people are missing. And so the key here, we're going to talk about portfolio, and this is the last thing we're talking about. The key here to a portfolio is you want like your LinkedIn to match your resume, and you want your resume and LinkedIn to match your portfolio. So key here is domain name. And this is actually all really easy to set up. This used to be really hard. It used to be really hard to set up your own website. It used to be really, really hard to get a domain name and buy a domain name. And now it's really easy. With a few clicks of a button and no technical knowledge, you can literally just go to a website like Squarespace, you can go to Wix, you can get, I use like custom stuff, but you can literally just go to any of these sites, build a portfolio on there, and showcase your work. So you need a domain name. What's a cool domain name for you? Way to advertise yourself. Would you say hopedigiovanni.com?
Sure.
I highly doubt that's taken. How about what's something else? Something that's shorter than hopedigiovanni.com. What about like hoperights.com?
Sure. Probably taken.
Maybe it is taken. That's actually probably going to be expensive because these are two common words. But what about hope copy? If you become a copywriter, or hope creative?
That's probably taken too.
It might be, and honestly, you'll have to keep doing iteration. But funny enough, like I have ericdd.com. I have a bunch of domain names that actually weren't taken that are similar like that are really short that you can buy. You can do like hope.nj, which probably isn't taken, or it might be a little bit more expensive. You do hope.la, this will probably run you like $500, but these are worth it in my opinion. You can do hope.pa, hope. I think rights is one. It doesn't always have to be a .com. And so this is the key. If recruiters see that you have your own custom domain name, even if it's only $15 a year, it sets you apart from the person that doesn't have this. On top of that, you don't need any experience to write your own essays. And you know who told me this? My old boss at Amazon says that every time that they get a new candidate that comes in the pipeline, it doesn't matter if they have any experience under their belt. If they have a cool portfolio and they like what they see, they will hire them. And you would be you would be actually really surprised as to how many people get into Amazon corporate who might not have the experience that like you would think a really high level executive would have. A lot of times it's just writing cool shit. We literally at Amazon, we had a meeting every day called Cool Shit. We would just share cool shit. And sometimes we'd even share like designs on other people's portfolios that we saw. It's really not about like having all this crazy high level experience. A lot of times it's just putting your work out there and showing people that you're just a cool person to work with and that you can do cool stuff. So that being said, do you think you could write? Oh, and also I actually have this on video. How many? I'll say what I'm about to say in a second. How many like cool essays or cool creative pieces do you think you could make for any of those companies that you mentioned? How many do you think you could make let's say if I gave you 2 weeks to do it, how many do you think you could make?
I don't know. This is very vague.
It's very, very abstract, but I'm just trying to make a point here.
I don't know, just make something up, like 4 or something.
Beautiful. That's exactly what I need. The reason I'm saying is actually 3 is the number that my old boss said. He's like, if you have just 3 pieces of really cool work that showcase either a brand you want to work for or a brand that is similar to one that you want to work for, that's all you need to show on your portfolio. It just has to be really cool. And I know you're a really good writer, so you have the capacity to do this. 3. You have the capacity to write 3 really cool essays, creative pieces, whatever it is, for a brand in the future if you ever wanted to work with them. So does that help you at all with thinking about a future career or building a portfolio or building yourself in the future? Does that help? Any of the stuff that we just went through, does that help?
Well, it's like you just have to do it.
You have to do it, right. That's the thing, right? But it's like you also have to know what you're doing, right? And like a lot of times people don't know that they need a portfolio, or they don't know that they need a LinkedIn, or they don't know that they need a resume, right? And so I just wanted to give that clarity for you and the audience, mostly the audience, but also for you because I like talking to you. So what questions do you have for me as far as like all the stuff we went over? Because I know we went over a lot, and I know that this is all very high level and it's not in the weeds. So like, what questions do you have for me, if any?
Well, what are your cool pieces in your portfolio?
My cool pieces?
Yeah.
Well, the stuff I have is stuff that I've written for like Hulu, Amazon, like HBO, like all really big companies. Before that though, I would put stuff that I did for my own business that my business failed, and for like events and parties that I would throw. Additionally, what I've done is I would make style guides and brand guides for brands I wanted to work with. and they weren't brands I actually worked with. I would just create these impromptu things that I would think they needed in the future. So that's like another key, right? If you see something that you're like, oh, this brand could use this, you probably just make it. And chances are you probably won't get a job with them. You probably won't, but it's something to add to your portfolio so that when the opportunity comes, you have something to showcase and you have something that's already presentable. Does that make sense? What other questions do you have? Because I want to answer more of your questions because these are good questions.
I mean, what, like, I still don't get, like, the cool thing. Like what? It's just, like, examples of work? Like, is that
Yes,
just what
yeah.
it means?
Yeah, so, like, if you see a billboard that you like, and you want to make a billboard that's like it, you literally can do that and add it to your portfolio.
Okay.
Does that make
So you
sense?
just make up a billboard.
Yes. I mean, that's literally stuff that I would do. That's stuff that me and Kyle would do to build his resume and portfolio as well.
Excuse me. It's 5 to 7. Jeopardy and dinner time.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay, well, with that, we're going to wrap. Do you have any other questions before we go in?
Nope.
Well, thank you so much, Hope, for doing this. Do you want to shout out like your Instagram or any social platforms, or you don't really care? It's up to you. It's up to you. Go for your Instagram.
My Instagram is Hope MAR1E.
Please follow Hope. She is the GOAT. She's probably the smartest person I've ever met, or at least one of the smartest people I've ever met, if I do say so myself. And if you're looking for someone who is a creative and could actually get the ball rolling for your company, don't hesitate to reach out to Hope. I know she's in college right now, but she's probably one of the smartest people you'll ever meet, and she'll blow you out of the water. So go reach out to her if you're looking for someone who's creative, who's intellectual, who can write really well, who can understand and articulate things really well, and who's a really good communicator and a really expert at psychology. Okay? We'll see you in the next video. Thanks again, Hope, for doing this. I really appreciate it. Woo! Thank you, Hope.
Diamo.